Talk to me a little bit of what we talked about with the journal and what you saw come out of it after you did that for 28 days in a row.
Yeah. So in the journal, I wrote down every day 3 things I did well on, one thing I wanted to improve on, and how I would do it. And what I wanted to improve on the better part, I would see myself get better on that every day. And eventually, like within a day or two, it'd be in the well part, and I would be moving on to the next thing I need to work on. But I mean, just simple things like that gave me really good feedback, like you talked about with the feedback loops. So I was really getting through everything and understanding what I was doing wrong, what I needed to work on, and how I could do it.
So great, man. What did that do for your confidence and your mindset when you keep seeing things that you write in better show up in well the next day or 2 days later?
It definitely boosts your confidence. It shows that you improved, you've gotten better instead of just staying in the same spot. You're like, man, I really wish I could fix this, but you're not focusing on anything. Well, this with journaling, you can see yourself getting better, and it's just awesome to feel that you've improved.
Talk to me a little bit about the journaling side. What was that like? How
Um,
was that for you?
yeah, so the journaling part really helped me. And I thought, like, before every one of my sessions, like the 5 minutes, I'd go back a day and look at, like, oh, what did I do good? What did I need help with? And I go back and like see what you reacted, gave advice and stuff. Go back and look at that. I'll make sure to work on that. I thought it kept me really accountable. And like, even like if I had a really bad day, if my good was like, oh, I just like put on my gear and did the work today.
Yep.
Like, even if it's like that, it just showed me, like, it just kept me accountable with the whole week. If I maybe forgot to journal, I'd go back the next day. I'd be like, oh, like I did this good. I need to work on this today. But yeah, at the end of the day, it just kept me really accountable.
Had you ever journaled before?
I mean, like I journal, like my off season, I got that journal. I started journaling my baseball progress, just like what I did in the day, what I thought like I did good, stuff like that. But like, yeah.
Now, here's a question. Have you continued to do the daily work and journal since ending the challenge?
Yeah, I have. So since we've started practice, after we're done throwing, all the infielders and outfielders go and do their glove work. I actually do that whole receiving progression and blocking progression.
Right.
And I've been working in more with the throws and the transitions and stuff like that.
Great.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so awesome. What stuck out to you?
Probably what stuck out to me the most, not like stance or anything like that, like the mental part, was learning how important journaling was.
Had you ever journaled before?
No.
No, you hadn't ever journaled before.
No,
Okay.
before the 4-week challenge, I started 2 days before it.
Okay. And by the end, did you journal every day?
I tried. I think I missed
Or because you were sick
3 days out of
few
the
days or so.
entire thing with journaling.
That's right. Out of the 30 days of the 28 days of the challenge and the 2 days before, you did what, probably 26 days?
Yeah.
That's crazy. And did you do it all in one notebook?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me what that's like to have that stack of papers reflecting on what you've done well and what you need to do better. What is that like? What does that do for you?
It helps me remember what I did well. If one game I have an off day because I cannot get the mechanics down, but I don't know what type of mechanics I'm doing wrong, this certain part, I can go back to my journal and then see what I did wrong in that day because I did it well in the past.
What was another thing that stuck out about the 4-week challenge for you guys?
Another thing was in the journaling, and as I said in the Zoom with all the people, how do you say it? I forgot. The journaling and you giving me feedback.
Yes.
And the journaling.
How important were those two things?
Oh, incredibly important. I did the videos, watched the videos, with the journaling. Okay, so I did this wrong. I need to do it better next time. And you corrected me. Maybe I didn't put it on the better because I didn't see it. But since you're like more experienced, that helped me to getting better in the other videos and the other.
And then also from a 7-year-old standpoint, having a 7-year-old, the writing part, the journaling, right? If we write it down, it makes it real and you're able to retain the information a lot more. It's a lot easier than just telling or watching digital. That writing down aspect for me was probably the biggest benefit of the program. And just again, from a consistency standpoint, I think that's where he improved quite a bit.
That's so cool. Tristan, had you ever done any sort of writing or journaling before when it came to baseball?
No.
Not much. What did you see the difference being from before you were journaling to after you were journaling?
I was able to do better.
Yeah. Did you feel like you understood what you were talking about more?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think happens if you understand what you're doing more?
You get better.
Yeah, absolutely.
On a side note, the handwriting got a lot better. So from my wife's standpoint, she loved that part of it. Yeah, they practice journaling every day. You're going to get better at handwriting. So that was one of those unintended consequences that worked out.
Coming out of it at the end, did you guys have all the notes in one notebook?
Yes. Yeah, we kept it in one journal, right?
That's awesome. That in itself is going to be so valuable because now you have essentially proof, evidence
Yeah.
that you can do it. You can do it every day. And now you can continue to refine that practice of videoing yourself, journaling it, all that type of stuff. And that's really where most of the growth happens. Steven, what about you? What was that experience like with sending the video? Then you guys watch the video, record your own, do the journal, send it back. I give you some feedback. What was that experience like?
Yeah, it was really good. So what we would do is we would watch your video and then we would practice those teachings. We'd do about 5 minutes of practice and then we would start recording. And then there were times where I would, okay, Jeremy, we've recorded it, but come watch it. I want you to watch yourself. And then even sometimes we would go back to your video and say, okay, watch Coach Anj, watch your video. Okay, where do we see the differences? Okay, let's try it again. And then we would record it again. And now we would have a couple videos to compare. And then two things. One is just the power of watching yourself is huge. You'll get there too one day, but when you tell your kids something, they're just like, yeah, whatever. Or I am doing it, right? And it's like, no, watch yourself. You're not, right? So that was huge. And again, it was only 5 minutes a day. All said and done, it was probably closer to 10 minutes by the time we'd watch your video together, practice it, record, right? Maybe revisit it, record again. But no, it was huge in just helping him build those fundamentals.
Has you ever videoed yourself before the 4-week challenge?
A few times.
A few times. Did you know
Few
what to
times.
look for?
And it was mainly hitting,
Yeah.
Mainly
you know,
hitting.
because really the catching thing really only started right around this time last year when he got into rec ball, because right now we're going into rec ball season.
Had you ever recorded yourself on video before this?
Oh, not catching, never. I started recording me 4-week challenge.
Yeah, there we go. I love it. The other cool thing about this, right, is it's not just the journal where you can see yourself improve. You saw yourself on video every day. Now, before this, had you ever videoed yourself or had you ever journaled for catching specifically?
I had never journaled and I had videoed myself, but not mainly for constructive feedback or anything. It was mainly for just getting a video and kind of sending it out.
This is one of the things that blows my mind. Like, if people understand how to video themselves and how to journal, they can have those self-feedback loops, right?
Mhm.
Where they can look at themselves and figure out what they need to do, and then they go work on the thing that they need to do in order to
Yeah.
get better at that. But a lot of times we don't know what to look for when we see the video.
Mhm.
Would you say before this, you didn't really have an idea, and now coming out of it, what are some of the things that you're looking for when you're analyzing your own video?
Yeah, I would really be in footwork, where I'm transitioning, the timing on everything, and how my stance looks while I'm receiving. Am I moving too much? Am I just a lot of the smaller things? And if those smaller things are minimalized, all the bigger things will look a lot better.
That's so good.